Today, an alum of Capitol Hill High School here has agreed to come in and hang out with us. Tony Gaeddert, who is a licensed drone pilot, graduated from Capitol Hill back in 1969. Please do give him your attention and everything. Take it away.
Okay, get this started here. Yes, my name is Tony Gaeddert, and I'm a drone pilot. I have a YouTube channel where I focus on travel videos, local events, and construction updates. I graduated here, class of 1969. When I was here, I didn't know where life was going to lead me, and my football coach was C.B. Spiegel back then. I received a football scholarship, and I played football for OSU and got my degree, and I contribute a lot of that to what I learned and did here. I took my yearbook from 1969 and animated it with AI. I only have a few pictures of it here, but you can see that our yearbook completely animated on my YouTube channel. Okay, let me go to the next one. My background is in IT. I had a number of Radio Shack stores for a while, and then I went to work for a corporate office for retirement communities, and that's where I started flying drones about 10 years ago. The drone I have is a DJI Mavic 4, and it has 3 cameras, has optical avoidance sensors on the top, 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom, LiDAR, and a landing light. Has 51 minutes of flight time on the battery. Some of the other equipment I use is the 360-degree camera and GoPros, of course my phone and DSLR, and all the drones shoot in 4K, and they all can get real good videos. The one advantage I have is I have the 3 cameras that I can zoom in on. Drones, you just have to fly closer, but you can get the same shots. The one advantage I have is I can fly in winds probably up to 30 miles an hour, where these other ones, you have to be careful. You don't want to fly in bad winds with those. The controller I have is this controller, and DJI has a number of different types of controllers. You can even run them on your phone, but they all have the same features as far as the things that they can do. I'm going to just show you how this works. So the controller has a number of buttons on the back that can do a combination of different things, and has scroll wheels that you can zoom in and out on and tilt up and down. And then you can switch cameras to the second camera, and you can even switch to the larger camera and even zoom in from there if you want to even get closer. On the screen, the drone has 3 different flying modes: a cinematic setting. I usually use when I'm down close to a subject, and the sticks, you have to really push the sticks to make it move and fly around. The normal mode is what I normally fly in, and the
obstacle sensing unavailable.
Sports mode is if I need to get someplace quick, I can get up to about 60 miles an hour with this, but it turns off obstacle avoidance. Some other points on the screen. It gives you the battery life, and the one thing about the battery life, it knows how far away you are from your controller, so it knows how much energy it needs to have left to get home. It'll automatically return to home when it knows it needs to. This is the signal strength between the controller and the drone. Also can be used for social media. You can turn it and you can shoot for social media. A number of different shooting modes, photos and videos, slow motion, and panoramas and hyperlapse. The panoramas are nice. It'll take a 360-degree still shot, and I have a whole bunch of those on Google Street View of different locations. You can also preview the shots that you have on your drone, so it's going to connect to my drone. You can only see it in 1080p. Yeah.
Okay.
The camera settings down here, I normally shoot in just all automatic everything, but it has a pro mode that you can set the ISO and the shutter speed and the f-stop, and that comes in handy when you want to get long exposures. It gives our white balance, and as I said, it shoots in 4K, but you can also shoot in 60 frames a second or 120 frames per second. It also gives you your altitude and your distance from the controller. It also gives you your horizontal speed and your vertical speed. And if I had maps, when you're flying, you can pull up the maps to see where you've flown and where you're at, and you can also change to, of course, a satellite view of where you're at. I think it's too windy to go outside and fly today, but the drone has a flight simulator. We can pass it around if you want to use this flight simulator. So I'm going to.
DJI Pro Mavic.
Well, they probably start out at, well, the Mavic 4 probably starts out at 2,000, but most of the other drones, you can probably start out at 900, and you can probably get a good one. You know, the mini drones, I'll show you in a minute, a lady demonstrating hers, and just the mini DJIs can do a great job, and they start out maybe 800 to, if you get all the extras, to maybe 2,000.
What drew you into it?
Well, I worked in a company that we had some constructions going on, and that's where I started flying, just on our recording our construction updates.
Okay, so it was work
Part of work, yeah.
Okay.
I'm retired now, though.
Home point updated.
The drones have you can see this H, that's where the home point's at. And if you start flying away and you get lost, the H over here in the corner, it always reminds you of where your home point's at. So I'm going to fly back down there to the home point. And you can see it tells me how far I'm off the ground. I'm about 2 meters off the ground now, but when I get closer to these obstacles, it's going to start telling me I'm too close to these, and the obstacle avoidance won't let me fly into them. It'll just stop. I'm going to fly on through. I'm going to fly down under these trees, underneath something, or you get behind a building and you lose signal, or you lose battery power off of this, or you turn it off. It will automatically return to home, but I'm going to hit a button and cause it to return to home. And you can see this green line, it's tracking its course back to the home point. And another neat thing about this return to home is you can take off from underneath inside a garage, or under trees, or in a parking garage inside where there's no GPS, and you can fly out, and it will record your flight, so it knows exactly how to get back in there, and it will land within 6 inches of where it took off. It'll fly around objects and find its way home. going to show you over here on the bottom left is the other cameras that it has. I can switch the other cameras and look to the left or to the right or look straight down as I'm flying.
Max distance.
And, well, ideally, I mean, I've seen people fly 5 miles away.
Okay.
You're breaking the rules when you go that far, but so I'm going to
Take off. Home point updated.
flying around and you try to fly right into something. It won't let you. The one thing it doesn't, obstacle avoidance is not very good at is telephone lines and tree branches that don't have any leaves like these. The drone also has cruise control. I can switch between the other cameras. I can see what's to my left or to my right or even straight down. And also on the maps, it also shows you on your map where you've flown at and where your home point's at and where your controller's at. So here's the cruise control. I'm going to fly to the left and hit a button on the back. That's cruise control. So I don't have to steer it in any way. And as I'm flying, I can start going up. Except you see my signal strength up there in the top. It's really weak. That's why the signal's cutting out. But it's flying right over to the and stops before it hits the building. Two different types of drone pilots. There's a recreational and there's a commercial, but they both have to follow the same rules. You can't fly, you need to fly below 400 feet. You need to be within line of sight. You need to be aware of the FAA regulations. You don't want to fly near other aircraft, or especially airports. And you never want to fly over groups of people. And you never want to fly near emergency response efforts. I know it'd seem nice if you see some smoke somewhere and you want to go check out the fire or something, but they really don't like it. Also, if you fly over a football game, they'll stop the game. It just it distracts the players, and it's not really dangerous, but it distracts everybody, and it's not FAA legal to fly over groups of people. If you want to fly commercially and get paid for it, you need to get your Part 107 pilot certificate. And it's like an 80 question test. And once you get that, you can do a few more things. You can fly over groups of people with certain restrictions, and you can fly over cars with certain restrictions, like the smaller mini drones. If you put on a prop guards, you can fly over people. And if you the drones that are larger than that, you can get waivers and even a parachute if you need to fly over people. Here's a video of the shots that you want storytelling.
You've only ever used these very basic, simple yet effective drone shots correctly for the rest of your videos will tell a far better story than if you didn't use them at all or if you use them inconsistently.
And tutorials, and in this
She's using just a small mini drone.
3 very simple drone shots that will help you get on your way to telling better stories within your videos. One of the best uses of a drone when storytelling is to use it as a tool for getting establishing shots. And establishing shots are what help to set the... So first up, let's start with the beginning of the story. And for this, you can use a bird's eye view shot. This is great for conveying a full space, like for example, a city or a forest. Or
the other shot that you can use in order to begin your story is a push-in shot.
It's great for communicating to your viewer that they're basically going to be taken into a specific location. For this, you can literally just fly your drone in a straight line towards the location or the subject, but make sure that your subject or the main location dominates the frame, either by using the rule of thirds or placing them in the center of the frame so that they take up most of that frame. You can also...
The next shot is the reveal, which is also another move that gives your viewer...
The pullback is one of the best shots for letting your viewer know that the scene or the video is ending.
Some of my drone shots. Here's Capitol Hill. The drone can also track objects like a car, a person, motorcycle. Here it's tracking my car and flying around. You can have it fly at different heights and different angles from you. Can also track a person, obstacle avoid and fly around the tree. Always keep you and follow you in. Here's a drone shot from my motorcycle when I was in Monument Valley. Flying behind me and to the side, it just is flying autonomously. The drone can also do hyperlapse, and this is, when you do hyperlapse, you kind of need to know the exposure triangle on this shot. I'll just continue here. So on the controller, the controller can also do a screen capture. That's what I'm doing here, so I can see what I was doing when I was setting this up. I'm in a hyperlapse mode, and it's going to take 200 shots and circle around the bridge, and when it gets through, it's going to make a video. And also the controller has a microphone, so you can narrate while you're flying. Oh, before I start, on this one I set it the shutter speed at 1/20th a second, but the streaks that were during the day, I had the shutter speed set at 1 second. So I post all on my social media. I post to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and LinkedIn. YouTube's really the best because it's well organized. You can set up playlists, and the resolution always stays high quality. Facebook, if you don't get very many views after a week or so, the resolution automatically decreases sometimes to like 720p. I was telling Mr. Maelzer I was also on the Twister set when they had the rodeo scene, and I sat right behind the star in the movie. I was in there for 1 second in the movie, but it was really interesting to see how they had all the cranes and cameras set up, and they set up a rodeo, and they built the stands and the whole rodeo scene. So I've got that on. I documented it on my YouTube channel. So I edit in Adobe Premiere Pro. I usually take all my footage from my all the video clips into their own separate folder, and then I scrub through each one of the videos and find the best parts, and I make subclips out of those. And then I take all the subclips and start arranging my videos. On the audio, I have a music service, so I don't have to worry about copyright. So my current project is the Myriad Convention Center demolition, and when they start the construction of the Thunder Theater, I'm going to document that. That's a picture of the Myriad back in the 80s. And I worked on construction on the Myriad when I was in college, 2 summers, and my dad was the architect on site there. It's a Polaroid. And there's my dad there. So back then you didn't have cell phones or digital cameras. But if you look under his arm, he's got a Polaroid camera and a Polaroid in his hand. I've got a whole bunch of Polaroids. Here's one of the shots he did, but you can see the Polaroid starting to dry up. And on this next one, you can see how he did panoramas with Polaroids. But it's all drying up. Here's the hyperlapse. That shot, I was just too close. I wish I zoomed in too close. I wish I had been farther away. Here's a pull-out shot, like the lady was speaking before about at the ending of a shot, how you ending of the story, how you pull away. I'm a member of the Capitol Hill Alumni Association, and we have an awards Alumni Hall of Fame Awards Banquet every year. This next year it's going to be August 15th, and it's going to be the 100th year. You know, we raise money for scholarships and for helping the students and faculty. I do the video recording. Corey A.V. does the audio. I do the photos. So you guys and gals are alumni, and you'll be alumni in the future, and you all will be taking it over pretty soon in the future. And if any of you want to help record the videos or help set up, I've got some cards all set out here that give the that has our website that you can figure out the date and time we meet. We meet once a month except during the holidays. It's not about the flying, it's about telling a story. And before I put it up for questions, and I might demo it and let you do the flight, demo the flight here just for a second, and you can take the flight simulator for a ride if you want to do that. Here's just a short video that I did in Utah at the Moonscape, just to intro one of my videos. Anybody have any questions?
For the FAA licensing, like I'm assuming there's costs involved. Do you remember what those?
I think it's, well, you have to go to an FAA license center, and I think it's like $80 to take the test, and it lasts for 2 years. But then after the 2 years, you just have to answer a few simple questions online. You don't have to go anywhere to renew it each year. The avoidance was very good. I hit a few trees, but my most amazing crash was I was in Will Rogers Park. I was out in the middle on a Sunday morning. There was nobody around. I had my feet outside the door. At that time I had some goggles, and I had the drone hovering about 3 or 4 feet off the ground right outside, and I was just working on some settings. Then all of a sudden, a police car came up and hit my drone, scratched his police car all the way down the side, and it was his fault. He took my license, and he had some explaining to do, I guess. So the drone up here just about 3 feet off the ground so you can hear what it sounds like. And then you can take turns flying on the Flight Simulator if you want to.
Take off. Home point updated.
So if anybody wants to fly the Flight Simulator, to take off, you pull the sticks all the way down into the center. So the map's tracking where you're going, and your vertical height, it does it in meters here.
The idea of a student crashing this way
Yeah.
rather than crashing for real. Is there like, are you able to change the controls at all? On this setup here, the follow focus isn't currently set on there, but then you would use this to pull focus from a distance.
I just got through teaching a class here at Capitol Hill High School in their video production class with Mr. Maelzer. Remember these lockers?